Yeah.
All right, here we go. The T-bone.
And chick brew.
God bless. All these years, just get it right one time.
What do you want from me?
40 years they've been trying. You couldn't fire somebody if they were horrible, doing a terrible job for the veterans. And now you can say, you're fired.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Santana T-Bone and Chick Brew in the morning. Let me tell you what the situation is. Let me tell you, we just finished 1 hour and a half show. It was a wonderful show, very entertaining. Me and Chick Brew knocked it out of the park. We did all that, but we forgot one tiny little thing, and that will start to... Now, we've been going at this for a while. What we're going to do right now, because, God, I'm such an idiot. I can't. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the highlighted, the Reader's Digest version of this week's podcast is going to be summarized as quickly as possible. I don't think it's going to be as quickly as possible. We're going to try and recover the content that was captured in this week's episode. We're going to do it this way. This is an interesting way of doing things. I've never tried this before. Of course, I've never not clicked the record button. Chick Brew is going to bring up something that she remembers us talking about, and we're going to hit on it, and then it'll be my turn, and we're going to go back and forth and try to capture what we just... Gosh, can't believe that.
Thanks.
We did talk about fegs. That loses all of its context, but here's the deal. Just Us is an eggs company that makes plant-based egg product. It's very stupid. JB Smooth, I believe it's JB Smooth, is the announcer on their commercials, and it's dumb and stupid, and you're killing thousands of plants to make a tiny little piece of fake eggs under the banner of being green and stupid. So we decided we were going to make our own fake eggs, and we were going to call them fegs. And then I decided that would be a bad idea because people will take us saying the word fegs out of context. And whether you like fegs or don't like fegs, eventually someone's going to hear something other than fegs, and we're going to get canceled. And we don't want to get canceled. That was our fegs discussion.
Thanks for life.
What's that?
Fegs for life.
Fegs for life. Fegs are delicious.
I stand behind the product.
We talked about Chick Brew not liking eggs, not liking chicken, and we talked about an upcoming bar mitzvah. She will now give you a reminder of that conversation.
Eggs are not my favorite. Chicken isn't either. We talked about the egg 7 ways that I had to do in school. Ghee is the best, the least offensive for me personally. You asked what ghee was.
I did learn today what ghee was, but I also
What
learned...
is it? Bring it back to me.
It's a non-lactating version of butter.
Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly it.
We also had a word of the day.
Oh, yeah, say it. You love the word.
I only remember the last 4 letters. I can't remember the beginning.
Spatchcock.
Say it again?
Spatchcock.
Spatchcock. We challenged the imaginary listeners in the previous episode. We challenged them to use the word spatchcock in their postings throughout the day to see where you can make spatchcock really. And the reason we talked about spatchcock is because my chef friend told me that if my turkey's too big to fit in an Instapot, I should spatchcock it, which I did not hear correctly and thought it was much worse than what it actually is, and it's just butchering the daggone thing. So we talked about spatchcock. We challenged the audience to to include spatchcock in their posts somehow. We talked about the bar mitzvah catering that you're going to be doing, and the menu is...
tomato, basil consomme, 2 kinds of hummus, falafel, tabbouleh, veggie pot pie, veggie Wellingtons, which you love the idea of.
Oh, I hadn't forgotten. I was going to remind you.
Orzo salad and pesto pasta.
Yes, the Jewish people she will be cooking for are apparently vegetarians. I raised a fit and formally advised Chick Brew that I have contacted the New York State Board of Licensing to pull back her chef's credentials because she recently made beef Wellington without the beef and bragged about it. And I think that is sacrilegious. I don't think that should be done. I made a formal complaint. I Karen'd it is what I did.
You did.
So that covers us talking.
I can't wait to make it for you.
That covers us talking about food.
Oh, headlines.
We did do headlines, one of our regular segments, in case you've forgotten. And the reminder for new listeners and for old, this is how it works. She gives me a headline. I take the headline. I try to make something out of it. That's what it boils down to. That's the spatchcock, if you will, of headlines.
Self-driving cars gather in a San Francisco neighborhood.
So the story is some self-driving cars get together in San Francisco. So here's where the route I went with that. We're only 20 years away at best to everybody having a self-driving car. The technology exists. It's a good thing. It's going to happen. But the downside is that when the cars become sentient, when they become self-aware, and when they organize, I went on a rant about the teachers union in Chicago deciding the teacher need, and then I used this segment to make a callback that they didn't get. So you're not going to get the callback about this. Anyway, the self-driving cars are becoming self-aware. The union has determined that they were not going to be working for the day, so they all met at Mary Kate and Ashley intersection there in San Francisco, where the story came with a dire warning that in the future, this is the day when these cars decided to leave their owners and go meet in an intersection in San Francisco. This is the day when it all starts going south. This is when the computers become self-aware. They're going to learn that they don't need us, and our time is fleeting. This also fleeting. What did I say?
Nope, I said I was just enjoying that word.
Fleeting.
Fleeting.
I got that from Patton, the general. And then there was another headline.
The other headline is cash scattered across Southern California freeway.
Right. So, and here's where I went with that. So it happens to everybody but me. But basically what happens is a Wells Fargo truck turns over, money goes flying up to the air, everybody parks their cars, runs around, grabs up all the money, takes pictures, takes videos, and posts on their web pages or on the internets how amazing it was that they picked up all this money. And then what happens? What happens is the government comes in and they track you because you put it on Facebook, and they come to your house and they take all the money, and then they take you to jail, and then you got to spend money to get out of jail and hire a lawyer. It's not a good thing. It's not the way to do things. What you have to do is frame it properly. Instead of stealing a bunch of money that's all over the road, what you have to do is post that you are part of a cleanup project, that you picked up a bunch of litter on the side of the I-5 today. You and your friends all work together to make the environment better by picking up garbage. That's the way you have to frame it. That took us trash. That took us into a conversation about the Powerball. It was recently won, and we talked about what we would do with the money, because that's fun. We talked about
I'm buying new sneakers,
the taxes and lump sum, and how it's so. This is going to be like a 5-minute episode. This is not going to be. It's going to be hilarious. God, I can't believe.
We should call it the ghost episode.
The ghost episode? The highlighted review of the episode that never was.
Oh my God, like the best song in the world. It was the best show in the world. But this is just a tribute. Yeah, this is a tribute.
So the jackpot being over $500 million is the only time I ever play the Powerball after taxes and after the power. So when you win major jackpot, what you have to be aware of is there's only two ways you can receive the payment. You can receive the lump sum of half of the winnings, so that costs you $250 million to get your money, or you could take the installment plan, which they will pay you interest on, but is non-transferable. So therefore, if you would die a day after winning, you don't get that money. Your family doesn't get that money. So it's advantageous, obviously, to take the lump sum, even though it's significantly smaller, because
the lottery people will try to kill you.
Yeah, the lottery. I would work for the lottery. Give me a cut. For anybody who's taken the installment plan, give me a 1% cut, and I'll take them out myself.
Well, and you have the alibi service, so you're already covered.
It's a good business model. These things are complementary. They work with one another. So we did the headlines. We did birthdays. I know the number one birthday that we talked about was Jan's birthday. Of course, we celebrate. Chick Brew's mom.
She's the best.
And then who did I?
Celebrated Wendy's school.
Celebrated Wendy's. And when I say celebrate, I mean, I went into a long dissertation about what an amazing person she is. That's what happens during the birthday boost segment of the show, in case you've ever missed it. And then you did...
Coach Steve Harper.
Coach
who
Steve
is
Harper,
great.
The author of The Ripple Effect and the podcast of The Ripple Effect. You know, if he wants to put a commercial on here, we could throw a commercial for The Ripple Effect on our show for him, but he's got to put a commercial on his show for us. Kind of like with the arrangement we have with Darrell McClain.
Yeah.
And
Tradesies. Airtime for airtime.
We advertise for you, you advertise for... And then I finished it out with Miss Kelly Sheritz. And again, wonderful lady, long dissertation. We went an hour and a half on this show. We had a great time. We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of fun. And then when we wrapped it up and I went to stop the recording, I realized...
That's when it wrapped.
But we couldn't leave you empty-handed. We couldn't spend this much time and effort. Man, we talked about so many good things. We talked about evals and counseling chits. We had a real fun show, and then we didn't.
And then now you guys are just stuck with fags, circling cars, money on the highway, and birthday boosts.
It's spatchcock.
Spatchcock. Oh no! We talked about the Loch Ness. That was a good one. That's right.
Oh, the interesting facts that we talked about. So here's the 2 interesting facts that we learned from the book of everything. Everything is everything. What it's meant to be will be. 1, it is more likely to be raining at 7 a.m. and least likely to be raining at 3 a.m. That is from the book of everything, an actual hard-covered book of facts that we share with you. So it is more likely to be raining at 7 a.m. and least likely to be raining at 3 a.m. That's from the book of everything. We also shared with that Loch Ness. Loch means lake. In case you didn't know, Loch Ness, famous lake in Scotland, is long enough and deep enough that you could fit the entire world's population inside Loch Ness 10 times over. Now, just so you know, when I learn these facts, I retain these facts. Chick Brew can attest. She's got the camera on me. I did not pick up and open the book and flip back through the book to remember these 2 facts that we shared today.
They're in there.
I learned them. They are now in my brain, and I have them for future Jeopardy episodes. That's everything I could think about that we talked about. Again, I'm going to apologize for those of you who enjoy the long version and all of the stuff that we put out. And I'm going to say you're welcome to anybody who really enjoys the super abbreviated version of the show.
This isn't the best show in the world. This is just a tribute.
Yes, which makes more sense if you know that song. So...
Everyone knows that song, right?
No, not a lot of people do.
That's sad.
So I say to you today, as I say to you the very best day, be any better from tomorrow.
And don't forget that you are loved.
That's right, you are loved. We cheered and celebrated, and then I went off. All right, well, I'm going to go hit the button for real this time. Real.
Thank you for listening to T-Bone and Chick Brew. If you enjoyed that show, you should check out the Darrell McClain Show, independent media that won't reinforce tribalism. We have one planet and nobody's leaving, so let's reason together. You can find the Darrell McClain Show at the same place you actually listen to this show. Give it a shot.